What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it. All right, everybody, welcome into a much earlier in the week edition of the Dan Russo Show, presented by the Red and Gray Gridiron Group and Underground Sports Philadelphia. I'm your host, Kyle Bennett, and joining me, the namesake of the show and somebody who's been in the news quite a bit over the past, 48 hours, my co-host, head coach of Vineland High School football, Dan Russo. Coach, first of all, congratulations on the win, first home win for Vineland High School football since November 5th of 2020. That weight is off the shoulders, a postseason tournament win, but that's far from the biggest headline, as Vineland High School football is going quite viral on the internet now. We're going to start right with the hot news. We were up in the booth, myself and Rich Scarpa, on the broadcast, on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube broadcast, and we had some suspect behavior from the referees on a fourth down play that, if it's called properly, it's a turnover on downs. Vineland takes over with about 4.5 minutes to go, and you guys just have to run some clock up 14-13. But instead, the ball is moved, the chain is moved forward, Eastern is given a first down, and Vineland High School has been the talk of the town for the past 48 hours now on the internet. And this is your first time publicly commenting on the situation, but the floor is yours, Coach.
Yeah, and everyone's seen the video. As we're speaking here, I'm actually waiting for, a text from someone significant to see exactly what's going on. So maybe I'll save that for a little bit later in the show, exactly, because I want to get this information fresh out here to our audience and to people out there. I guess it's national news now, so maybe we'll have the guys go on first, and then what we'll do is I'm waiting. I think within the next 15 minutes I'll have some information that's hot off the press here that we could tell our followers and everyone that's been contacting me. I've been contacted by leadership in the state level as far as our governing body, and also with the officials association. So they've seen the video, they're reviewing it. Like I said, in the next 15, 20 minutes, I should have a significant update. So I don't want to have to talk about it twice. So I'd like to start off just by focusing on the game right now.
For sure.
And how our kids played. Obviously every game you play, there's a lot of adversity. Hasn't been easy. We lost a close one first game of the year by a point. It's really nice to be on the other end of it, winning by a point. So the kids were ecstatic. We've got a very young team. The more I start looking at and breaking it down, I think at one point, because we had some guys down with Hitchens, and as a starter, the receiver, we had to replace him, I think, with at the end of the day, a sophomore. So 10 of the 11 starters were sophomores and juniors, and we had the one senior right tackle with Jordan Bennett. So to see the offense move the ball like they're doing, and the offensive line with the improvement, Coach Gilbert is doing an incredible job with the offensive line. I mean, it starts and ends with the offensive line, and that's probably the biggest improvement we've had as a program right now is the offensive line play of Darnell, Herring, Alufemi Sode, a.k.a. Jerry, Keyshawn Chestnut. Right guard Patrick Gilbert's back. We lost another senior. He's a little nicked up with Julio with his knee. And then we have at right tackle, we have Jordan Bennett. And then at tight end, we have Tayshawn Newman, and then Gavin Gallo actually played our other tight end position with our double tight formation. So with the guys we have at our skill positions, they're able to advance the ball with that offensive line, getting a good push. Everybody at the end of the game knew what we were doing. Direct snap to the quarterback 3 or 4 times in a row. Eastern knew it. The Vineland fans knew it. The coaches knew it, and they couldn't stop it. And when you can impose your will on another team at the end of the game like that, that's the sign of progress and a team that's getting better. Um, Eastern had a lot of two-way linemen that we saw on film. We don't. Our guys, like most of our offensive linemen, will rotate maybe in a little bit on defense. So I think at the end with our O line, they were just overpowering the guys. We're just running quarterback sneak, 5-10 yards a clip, running clock, trying to score at the end. And like I said, they're improving. They're giving the quarterback more time in the pocket so he can hit his receivers. We've got some good receivers here. You're going to talk to one of them shortly here. But like I said, it's a lot better to be on the winning end of a 1-point win than a 1-point loss. And I tell these guys how close this sport is, especially when you're playing the schedule we do. We've basically the outcome of 2 games here has been determined by 2 points. Obviously, in football, a touchdown 6 points. So to come down to something like that, it's pretty significant. So our kids hung in there. We had a good week of practice. It was a shortened week. It's going to be another shortened week this week. But hey, we like getting right to it. They get a 3-day weekend here. We're giving them some time off. Some guys are a little nicked up. They're going to heal up and get ready to go for Monday. Looking forward to playing a rematch with EHT. That's a whole nother topic we could discuss, but I don't remember ever in my 10 years coaching here having 100 kids running out in the field in and out of the handshake line. But, the kids were excited. We didn't make a big fuss. I kept my kids on our side of the hash at the end of the game because I don't want any problems. My kids were heated, though. So this next game we're really looking forward to. And it's going to be a next-level game as far as the passion and what my guys are going to bring this Thursday, because it's not usually done where kids are running on the field running at you saying, you're this, you're that, we beat your ass. So our kids are extra motivated this week, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's going to be an incredible rematch, and we'll dive into that as well. But I also wanted to get your thoughts. You talked about running Dan at the quarterback runs to kind of finish that game out. It seemed across the board, no matter who was running the ball on Thursday night, you guys were able to progress the ball down the field. Talk to me a little bit about the game Charles Clark had, because it seemed like even though that first drive of the game against Eastern wound up with you guys punting, that 6-yard run, in my mind, kind of established how Thursday night was going to go. Him kind of being able to get a big gain right off the bat and then continuing that throughout the game. I thought he had one of his best games of his high school career on Thursday night so far.
Yeah, Charles is still a young back. He's learning how to play varsity football. These young guys skipped a few progressions as far as not playing freshman or JV. He's coming from 8th grade football to last year playing with the varsity as a freshman and now as a sophomore. But we've tried to stress to him it's not always going to be there, and if it's not, put your shoulder pad down and just try to get a yard or two. He has a tendency to run side to side a little too much for my liking, so that's something he's corrected. He did a much better job the other night. We still have to work on his, not turning the ball over, which I spoke to him about. He's trying to get extra yards, but sometimes as a running back, you just have to, go down, put your shoulder pad into somebody, and just get what you can. When you see the quarterback hit the hole, that's what we're looking for, the way Dan runs the ball, the direct snap, just straight ahead, north and south. If you see something, then you extend it. That's the kind of runs that we like here, a little bit of smash mouth football. So Charles is improving and trying to do the same. But anytime, not only are these guys faster on this level, but they have the angle on you. So you're not going to outrun them side to side. It's just not going to happen. It's not midget ball football anymore, and you can run around the field if you're the fastest kid. You got better players. They're going to take the right angles. They're going to have really good defensive coordinators, and they're going to stop you. So that's been our focus with Charles in particular, teaching him, north and south running. Get what you can. It's going to break. Once you get to that second level, he's got some nice moves. But running, east and west at the varsity level, it's just a recipe for disaster. You know what I mean?
Definitely, and it's you want to go forward. That's where the end zone is.
Yeah. So he's improved every game. At the end of the day, the quarterback and the running back are 15 years old. Both got some experience as 14-year-olds, which is kind of remarkable. It's just where we were at as a program. they're the best options at both positions, and they're taking advantage of their opportunities. And I like what I see.
We'll talk to Tank about the touchdown in just a second here, but I did want to get your thoughts on that passing play to Tank for that touchdown that he was able to score, because I thought that was one of the best executed plays from the booth perspective that we've seen all season long. Dan had plenty of protection from the offensive line, which was great. Had his time to find his spot, find his man, and then Tank is able to come up with that ball, make that quick turn, and run it into the end zone. Just take me through that play, and just your thoughts on how it was executed.
Yeah, being in the moment in the game, and then being able to review it, um, totally went over my head here that he had the two previous passes as well. I didn't realize until I watched it on film. I know he had one, but he had three passes in a row leading up to that touchdown pass. So, Tank's a great player. He's one of the smartest kids we ever had here in the program. Him and our guest here today, Dan, they are in advanced placement classes. They're a year ahead. They're going to graduate after their junior year, which is pretty cool, and take some college credits. They were taking high school classes as eighth graders. So they're extremely smart. They understand what it takes to be successful in football, and the processing for both of them is there. So Tank, and Daniel were on the same page. They were processing the plays. Tank ran excellent routes. Dan was able to get him the ball. And, we were able to score right before the half, which turns out to be a huge score because it was such a close game, a 1-point victory. So, without that touchdown, it would have been hard, in my opinion, with the two turnovers we had to win that game. So, Tank is healthy now. And, he's a tremendous player, and he's helping us win some games here. So not only are both of these players, we usually have a defensive or offensive MVP, but they're both the MVPs and they both played both sides of the ball, because it was hard to pick which side of the ball I could have put both of them on, because they did such a great job on both sides. Tank with the catches and the touchdown and the blocking on offense, and then on defense, keeping the receivers in front of them and making the tackles as soon as they called it. We're knocking it down. So, he did a great job. And if Egg Harbor coaches and players are listening, please throw the ball to number 3's way during the game, because he'll be ready for you.
Yeah, he'll make catches on both sides of the ball.
He the first game, so please throw the ball in the area of number 3. I said it. Coach Dan Russo.
On the record. Let's bring in number 3, Coach. Let's bring in Tank Powell and get his thoughts on this game and his welcome back to the lineup in a big postseason win for you guys.
Yeah, as you know, the Powell family is a big name in our program. Last 10 years, we've had Tyreem, Tyrese, and then we have Tyrell now, a.k.a. Tank, and they've all done a great job for us. Obviously, we know Tyreem's at Rutgers, plays today at 2:30. Looking forward. Thanks for fitting us in before the game, because I don't want to miss that. And then we have Tyrese at Keene University. They have a bye this week. I actually just spoke with him. He dropped Tank off, and going to be exciting to see where Tank lands in his college process. And with the grades he has, I could see him playing for an Ivy League or a Patriot League school. Just a credit to Tank and his family and all the accomplishments they've done. They just keep getting better and better. So looking forward to seeing him play this Thursday night. He's had a great off season. Made a commitment to the weight room. He's gotten bigger, stronger, plays basketball for us, and very smart player, smart in the classroom. What I like about both these guys today is I haven't seen one referral, one discipline issue ever. I've never gotten a phone call on either of them, and they're both excelling in school, which is number one here. And I'm very proud of these two guys. But let's bring on Tank at this time, all right?
Let's bring in the Tank.
Thanks.
So now we have Tyrell, a.k.a. Tank Powell, joining us here on the Dan Russo Show. Tank, first of all, congrats on the win. Welcome back to the lineup in a full-time capacity. Coach said on the show leading into this game against Eastern that you said you were 100%, and I, just from covering football as much as I do, at this point in the season, it's tough for people to be at 100% coming back from an injury. But watching you on Thursday night, I can fully say you were at 100%. Just talk to me about, what it was like being back out there in a full capacity for this team on both sides of the ball, and just, your thoughts on the win and finally, getting that snide at home off your guys' back, finally getting a win at home for the first time in 2 years.
Yeah. Since the Holy Spirit game, I was limited, injured, and I finally got healthy. It felt good to be out there.
Yeah, and your play on defense, I think, was something that was missing a lot for this team. Just the way that you're able to sniff out the ball wherever it's at, to be right on top of it. Just talk to me about the matchups you had against Eastern and what worked for you so well to kind of just find the success you did and being able to lock in on the receivers that you were matched up against.
In practice, we do a lot of tackling circuits, like every week, and that would make me be able to break on the ball and make open field tackles every time.
And first year with Coach Hendricks too. Just your first time being on the show too. I wanted to get your thoughts. What's it been like playing for Coach Hendricks on the defensive side of the ball? What he's brought to this defensive room and everything for you guys, and how you guys have been able to kind of. It seems like he's been here for a while. The way that you guys have been able to respond to him and his coaching style. What's it been like playing for Coach Hendricks this season?
It's been great. He tries to put everybody in a position to make plays, get the best out of everybody.
And then, the big play on offense, you get that touchdown. I think I told Coach Russo too, and I'm sure you heard it. It looked like one of the best executed plays you guys have had on offense all season, from just the blocking up front from the offensive line, giving Dan enough time to, kind of survey the field, figure out where you were at, find his spot, and then you come up with the big catch and run it into the end zone. Just take me through that play and, what was kind of the mindset going into it, and then as soon as you're able to beat your man, what was it like, as you see just open field to get into the end zone?
Yeah, 2 plays prior, I was in the slot, and I ran 2 10 and outs in a row because we went no huddle. And I'm guessing the coaches saw a matchup they liked on the outside, so took advantage of that.
Yeah, so Dan finds you. What's the mindset when you guys go back to the sideline after that play, after you take a lead, in such a pivotal point in the game too? The past couple of weeks you guys have had your opponents kind of take those type of shots and be able to score right before halftime or right after halftime. What's it the feeling on the sideline when you guys are able to take advantage of those opportunities?
Felt great. And when I got off, Dan made a joke about, because in the Holy Spirit game I fumbled it, but we still scored, but I fumbled it on the way in. But I completed it this time.
And I think one of my favorite parts from being up in the broadcast booth and having covered your brother is every game he's locked in watching you guys play, no matter what's going on. He's tweeting on Twitter at me during the games and everything when you're making big plays. How cool is it to just have the support of your brothers, even though they're off playing at the collegiate level, they're making sure they're checking in on the tank.
It is good. Every time I get done the game, I got a whole bunch of messages from Tyree telling me about every play I made and Tyrese.
And to have that for you, to have 2 older brothers who have been through Vineland High School football, now playing at the collegiate level, how much of an advantage is it for you just personally to kind of, if you need to, pick their brains on certain things, get advice from them on, different types of situations and stuff? Obviously, Tyree has been in, big-time playoff games as well. What's it like to kind of be able to pick your older brother's brains?
It's great. I can get advice from him anytime and follow in his footsteps.
And, it's been the hot topic of conversation, obviously, and Coach Russo's waiting for, some more word on what I guess we could call the play that has gone quite viral on the internet. What was your reaction when you see all of that go down? Just, instant reaction to Eastern getting that first down given to them, and, on the sideline, is it one of those things it's like, okay, like, they're getting gifted this opportunity, we got to lock in and, kind of take advantage and get this one back?
I was on the field at the time, and I didn't even realize that he moved the ball forward in the chain backwards, but I thought they just spotted it bad from the start, like because it looked like he went out of bounds and he was short from the jump.
Yeah, we were up in the booth, and it looked like he was about a half a yard short, when he got pushed out of bounds. And when that all transpired, it was pretty suspect, as I said on the broadcast. And, for you guys, when that happens and, you got to kind of brush it clean, is it just one of those things where it's like, okay, let's, go out there. We got to try to stop them. They obviously score a couple plays later. So what's the mindset as you guys take the field on offense after that happens to make sure you guys come out on top with a win? You go down the field and luckily score, with 50 seconds left on the clock. You guys get that game-winning touchdown. But what is kind of the talk in the huddle going back out on offense after that drive ends for Eastern?
I was on the sideline telling everybody, give 4 minutes of, because we had 4 minutes of, I was telling them 4 minutes of everything you got. And then Xavier just got a good return, put us in a good spot.
Yeah, take me through Xavion's return as well, because his first year, doing the kick return and punt return duties, and it seems like every single week he's just getting better and better, and more comfortable with the return duties. But take me through what's going through your head when you see Xavier make that turn up the field and give you guys just impeccable field position.
I had a feeling he was going to get us a good return because I know he was mad about the touchdown on defense, and then everybody was jumping up on the sideline, happy for him.
And, Coach and I have talked this year too about just how this core of Vineland High School football and this group in particular is made up of a lot of underclassmen, a lot of sophomores, a lot of juniors. To be able to have this opportunity to play in this postseason tournament for the first time that it's been presented to, South Jersey and everything, to get that experience of a win like this together. How much do you think that does for this particular team, going into next week against EHT and beyond, and then, moving forward for years to come, being that a lot of this group is going to be together next year as well? How much of a, bonding and how much of a learning experience is this that's going to be positive for this program to, moving forward?
It's great building a lot of team chemistry, but the main thing is, we wanted to we're taking it one game at a time, but we all want to get revenge on EHT next week, or this week coming up.
Yeah, so you guys get the big win against Eastern, and now you have EHT on the schedule, a rematch, in a game that I think I can speak for you guys. You feel like you should have won that game. What's the, mindset going into practice this week, and, just staying locked in, focused, and, learning from some of the film that you guys will be able to watch since you have played them already this season, and kind of fixing those mistakes you made and making sure that it's not the same result as a couple of weeks ago and you guys are coming out with another upset win?
You got to go hard every day in practice and listen to the coach's game plan, execute it.
Tank, I love watching you play every week. Keep doing your thing, man, and congratulations on the win. Looking forward to EHT, and hopefully, like Coach said, EHT's throwing the ball to number 3.
Thank you.
The Pals are the best, Coach.
Yeah, what a great kid. Captain of the team, checks all the boxes, does everything we ask. Very respectful. Young man here. Coaches coach him up. Just, yes, sir, yes, coach, just like his brothers. And Tyreem Sr. and Stephanie did a great job raising these boys, and they're great kids. And, very happy that we've been able to have all 3 of them in our program. So, like I said, hopefully they throw it to Tank a few times Thursday night and he can pick them off.
Might have to get shirts, mate. Throw it to number 3.
Yeah, he's definitely big help having him healthy last game on both sides of the ball. I'm trying to give certain players, some rest when I can on special teams, but we'd love to have him out there every play.
And I wanted to pick your brain on this too, Coach. I asked Tank about it, but to have him have the opportunity to pick the brains of his brothers who have gone through Vineland High School football, and obviously Tyreem very active on social media as well, during the games. He's watching no matter what's going on, even though he's got things he's got to, be focused in on for Rutgers. He's making sure he's checking in on his younger brother and how he's playing and, texting him after games and everything. How special is that, just to see, alumni, even though they are related, still checking in on the program and making sure that the Tank is performing up to standards of that Powell namesake.
Yeah, it's awesome. And you just reminded me, I always text Tyrone good luck, and he texts us good luck all the time. And I guess they play in a couple hours. I might be late with this, but I'm going to try anyway. I got to tell him good luck today against Minnesota. So he's always in touch with me as well. He's a great guy, one of the best players ever to put that red and gray uniform on. And it's great having a person like that, great player like that, great person in the community giving back to the Vineland kids in our program. And Tank is extra lucky to have two older brothers that, been through our program and now play in college and can give him good advice. And, Tank will be playing in college soon, and then we'll be watching Tyrone in the NFL. So we'll have one pal in the NFL and two in college playing at the same time. So I'm looking forward to that too.
And I asked Tank too about Xavion's return, which, with everything going on, it almost, slips your mind. But take me through, seeing Xavion run that kick return back for, almost a touchdown, and just his progression as well this season. You guys give him those duties of the kick and punt returns for this team as a sophomore. And, it seems like each and every week he just seems more and more locked into that position and really taking the reins with it. But just take me through that kick return and what you saw from Xavion in this game and how he's kind of been able to progress, at the special teams level for this team, not only as he has on defense as well.
He's learning what it takes to be a varsity football player. We've held him accountable, just like we hold all the kids accountable for some things, meaning that they're doing what's required here. So it's been a learning process for him as well. He's young. He's another sophomore. He's done an excellent job, but he had a good week of practice, didn't miss anything, and we put him in a position to make some plays for us. In addition to the nice kick return, he did an excellent job fielding punts. I want to say he had at least 3, maybe 4, where if he didn't fair catch it, he gave us a nice return and some good field position. But for a young kid, 15-year-old kid, seeing a ball by a high school punter way up there in the air with those lights on during a night game, it's not easy to do. So he did a nice job of fielding the punts, and that really helped us too with field position the whole game. In addition to having our great punter with Colin Greif, we have a great returner now here with Xavion Diaz. And, to go out there and compete, Eastern had a lot of seniors that I noticed when it was live, and they were a close football, had a lot of close games this year, kind of similar team to us, had a few sophomores and juniors sprinkled in, but they had definitely way more seniors playing than us, across the board, especially the big 75, I want to say, or was he wearing 76?
I think he was wearing 76, but on the roster he was 75.
Yeah, so, and that roster was wrong. The kids were asking him, certain things, ended up he weighed 420. He was 6'6", 420 and could move. I tell you,
yeah.
I was very impressed with him.
He was very agile, had, for his size, he had a twitch to be able to move and create, and that was very impressive.
And he played both sides of the ball, and, I think 55 was their DN. He was very physical. I saw him on tape. He was a senior, and I feel like 7 was the other end, captains, and there was a few others. But they definitely had some seniors, and they gave us everything they had. I feel like we deserved to win that game. But the best team doesn't always win on the scoreboard. And fortunately for us, it worked out. Getting back to Xavion with that big return. Everyone's looking at Xavion run, and I'm looking behind him to the left because I've been doing this a little while. I was looking for laundry on the field. So
yep.
I'm thinking, please no flag. Please no flag. Please no flag. Because everyone's cheering and freaking out. I'm to the left just looking at a bare green field.
And
and
you're like,
and I'm like, please. And then it ended up, we got the ball, I think, maybe on the 20 or 25, whatever it was. It was great field position. And, we were able to impose our will, and the O-line just stepped it up and played fantastic and did what they had to do to move the ball here with our quarterback.
Yeah, and we mentioned last week too, leading into this game where you were getting guys back healthy from injury, and that in this game afforded you the opportunity to put Gavin Gallo at that secondary tight end position. I thought he was an unsung hero in a lot of instances out there. Was able to really use his brain from what he uses on the offensive line side of things to translate that to the tight end position. It's not always as easy as it sounds. I thought he was pretty impressive coming back and playing a new position and being able to go out there and be part of a winning formula.
Yeah, he's very athletic. We had him playing offensive line, but with some of these guys progressing, with Alufemi Sode stepping up and playing left guard, and Keyshawn Chestnut stepping up and playing center. We've been able to put him in a position where I think he fits in better with Gallo. He's more of a tight end, H-back type. So now that these other guys have stepped up, we've gotten stronger at that position because, that's probably where Gallo should be playing, and he is now. We had him on the O-line because we didn't feel like we had guys ready to do that, but we've had some guys step up and do an excellent job. Like Jerry's a first-year football player, and I can't say enough great things about him. He's a special one, and he's getting better every week. And it's new to him, and he's excited. He's excited to play football. He wasn't allowed to play football before, and he was able to convince his mother to let him play. So we're real happy about that. And, when I was recruiting him to play football, I just asked him, did you ever see The Water Boy? He said, no. We'll watch it and get back to me. That's just a joke. I'm kidding. But his mom was on board with it. He's a basketball player. He's like a mini Charles Barkley on the basketball floor. So he's a real fun kid to coach.
Yeah, and he's, from the Washington Township game to now, he's translated into just a superstar in the making on that offensive line. He's so much fun to watch because for somebody who's never played football, you would think he's been playing football since he was, 5 years old.
Yeah, they're actually the O-line's starting to pancake people, which I like. They're starting to put them right on their backs, which is considered a pancake block. So it's real exciting to see, and they're all back next year, every one of them. I mean, we lose Jordan, but we'll have Jameson replacing him, and we'll have could be potentially be the best offensive line we ever had since I've been here.
Yeah, they've been fantastic, and they've been blocking for our next MVP of the game, Dan Russo, your son, the QB and linebacker extraordinaire. Let's bring him in on the show for the very first time, the Dan Russo Show featuring Dan Russo. And, we'll pick his brain on both sides of the ball and see how he thought the game went and get his perspective on this rematch with EHT.
Yeah, well, fortunately, he takes after his mother. That's why he's so athletic. He's got good genetics. And, he's done a nice job for us. Like we've discussed, we have a lot of sophomores, juniors doing some big things. In addition to his athletic skill set, like I mentioned, him, Tank, and Daniel are excellent in the classroom. I'm really proud of them. I think they're the first two players I've had in this program that were a year ahead in their academic record here as far as taking high school classes as eighth graders. I actually looked at their transcripts and didn't even understand it. But both of them are going to be able to take college courses as seniors here at Vineland High School. It's something, that's been set up in the school system. It's a positive I'd like to, just touch on here with our fans so they know what's going on here. But some of the great things, that's one of them. So he's another kid, I think, that could play Ivy League or possibly Patriot League in his progression. It's nice having, a big quarterback like that that can run and throw, and then we ask him to help us out on defense playing linebacker. So, and he's actually long snapping for us now, which we asked him to help us out when Gallo went down. So for the last month, I want to say the last 4 games, he's been long snapping and doing an excellent job with that as well. So with no further ado, I'll let you talk to him, and I'll be back.
Dan the man.
What's up?
It is. It's been a long time coming to have you on Pop's show. Um, same name, so it's fitting. Now it's your show. But take me through this game against Eastern. Let's talk about that touchdown first to Tank, because I mentioned to Tank, I mentioned to Dad that it felt like one of the most flawlessly executed plays you guys have had all season. From the blocking that you were able to get on that play, gave you enough time to kind of see down the field, kind of survey your options, and then you're able to hit Tank, where he's able to beat his defender and run it into the end zone. Take me through that play. What was kind of going through your mind as soon as you see that you have that time and that blocking in front of you to pull that one off?
Yeah, I would like to say thanks to the line, perfect protection, and I knew we needed a big play and had to go to most reliable receiver, which is Tank, and I saw the safety come down, so I just had to take advantage of that.
And this game very very similar in terms of just back and forth, and for you guys to able to lock in key points in this game was massive for you guys to come away with the win. But take me through that huddle post the play where the ref moves the chain, moves the ball. 2 plays later, Eastern's able to score a touchdown to take their first lead. What's kind of the message on the sideline with about 4 minutes and change to go, so you guys don't, hand it away. You guys stay locked in and know that you still have an opportunity to come away with a win.
Yeah, obviously that play is it's crazy. But at first I thought it was a bad spot to begin with, but I didn't realize, just like Tank, that he actually moved the ball, which is bizarre. But I don't know what was going through his head. I talked to the other ref about it, and he said it wasn't his call, so there's nothing you can do. But at the end of the day, calls aren't always going to go in your favor. So I knew what I had to do. I knew we had to go down and score and win the game, and that's what we did.
To kind of keep everybody composed, being the quarterback on the team, one of the leaders on this team, what's your message to the guys to, just stay focused, stay composed, so that way things don't unravel from, some teams that can happen. A team can unravel from a moment like that happening, and it kind of deflates you, and, you kind of lose the wind in your sails. But you guys stayed focused. You were able to, I think, have some tenacity on that last offensive drive to go down there and score. And I think it all started with Xavion's return as well. But what's kind of the message to just stay composed and not lose focus?
Yeah, definitely. As soon as I came off the sideline, I knew it's going to come down to last minute, and we needed a big play. And Xavion's return, that was incredible. Put us in a tremendous spot. And as soon as the momentum switched as soon as he broke that, and it was amazing. And I knew right then that we were going to win.
Yeah, and I mean, for this team, too, in particular, and, Coach and I have talked about this week in and week out, you guys are a young group. It's a lot of sophomores, a lot of juniors, a lot of just underclassmen in general. For you guys to get this experience of this postseason tournament, the first time it's been implemented, there's been some teams that have said, hey, we're packing it in for the season, we're done. But for you guys to get this opportunity to keep playing, to go out there and have a game like this where I'm sure when it's all said and done and you guys are graduated and everything, this is a game you'll look back on and remember for, a long time, just from all the events that have transpired from it. But, for this young core to get a win like that, have a game like this under your belts, what do you think it does for you guys momentum-wise going into this next game, and just, for the future, for you guys to have that winning experience together in a situation like that, knowing that you'll be, together for at least the next 2 years?
Yeah, I would just like to say thanks to Coach Russo for putting this together for us. And it's definitely building chemistry with the team. And as we continue each game, we just keep getting better and better. And yeah, we're a young group, but our seniors still do. I love our seniors. They're great guys. But yeah, we're definitely pretty young, and I think we're just going to keep getting better and better.
And, take me through, you're the quarterback, obviously, but you play some linebacker as well, and I think you're just as talented on the defensive side of the ball as you are in shotgun or under center. But take me through, the defensive mindset for you? What switches, if anything, from when you're playing quarterback to going out there and playing linebacker? Is there anything that mindset kind of switch up? Obviously, it's a different position, but do you play with a little more tenacity and a little more, grit, and as you guys say, have that dog in you, when you go to the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, definitely something in my mind definitely switches. On the defensive side, I'm definitely more dominant, and I don't have to. I don't want to say think as much because I definitely think, but like on the offensive side, definitely gotta take in a little more factors of how the defense aligns and all that. But on defense, it's more of a I see how the offense aligns, but I know I gotta be dominant, and I'm definitely more aggressive. And I think I like hitting, so it's more
And
fun.
I love when you're able to get after the quarterback, because every time you do, I'm up in the booth and I say it's quarterback on quarterback crime. How fun is it for you knowing that you're a quarterback as well, but you're playing linebacker and you get to go out there and, rough up some of these other quarterbacks and be like, hey, this is what it's like.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So I could relate to the quarterback. So I know when you're getting pressured, you feel uncomfortable. So when I'm blitzing, I know I gotta do my best to make the quarterback feel uncomfortable, and that's what I try to do.
You shouted out your offensive line, and I think this year, in all the years I've been doing the show with Coach, this is one of the best, and just week by week progression wise, just the way that this offensive line has been able to gel has been the best in my opinion. Talk to me about what it's been like playing in front of these guys, even with some of the changes that have been made throughout the season. It seems so seamless across the board for some of the new guys that have come in mid-season, to play at different positions, whether it's due to injury or just a coaching decision makes more sense. Talk to me about this O line and what it's like playing behind them.
Yeah, as Coach Russo said, Coach Gilbert, he's been doing a fantastic job with the offensive line. Each week, he has his own individual period with them. And even on the sideline, when we're on defense, he talks to offensive line, which is great. Know what they got to do. And, they've been tremendous, getting better and better each week. And I don't know if you saw, but they knew exactly what we were going to do, just run right up the middle. They were loading the box with probably like 8 players, and they still couldn't stop us. And it's all credit to the line. They're doing great.
Yeah, it seemed like you guys were able to, like Coach said, impose your will in the running game. Whether it was you, Charles, whoever was kind of running the ball, you guys were able to find holes and hit them for big gains. Talk to me about just throughout the game, what was it like seeing that you guys were going to be able to have those opportunities to run the ball and establish the run, and that opens up opportunities like you had to hit Tank for that touchdown. It opens up opportunities for you to pass the ball on some of these quick passes because you are able to, pick up so much yardage on the ground.
Yeah, definitely. When you could just keep doing the same thing over and over again and you can't stop it, the defense tends to like expect the same thing. And that opens up opportunities for like passing and that play to Tank. They weren't expecting it because we were just driving down the field, and the offensive line just doing exactly what they have to do, and they've been like perfect. Like I can't describe how much I'm thankful to have the offensive line that I do. They've been getting better and better each week, and we've been driving the ball, and it's an amazing feeling to see the defense getting tired, and they just can't stop you.
And for you as a sophomore, some coordinator changes from freshman year to this year. What's it been like, playing for Coach Tucker and Coach Hendricks, and what they've been able to, present to this team, and present some new opportunities for you guys, this year that have really worked? And what's their message been like for you since you play on both sides of the ball and get an opportunity to work closely with both of them?
Yeah, it's been great. Both coaches are excellent, and they both have their own unique skills that they bring to the table. And Coach Tucker, he's amazing. He coaches the running backs like excellently, and he works on footwork. And Coach Hendricks, he's always, as Tank said, always putting us in positions to make the play. And they both work so hard to watch film, and they prepare amazingly. And the coaches are really good.
And Coach mentioned too, your long snapping now is kind of a hush hush a couple weeks ago that you were taking over the long snapping duties. So you also get a taste of what it's like to be across a special teams version of an offensive line. Talk to me about what it's been like long snapping, the trials and tribulations of that, and what it takes to be a long snapper. Because I think a lot of people don't realize how difficult that can be, just because of how far you have to get the ball back. It's much different than a traditional center. But what's it been like long snapping, working with Colin, who has been unbelievable for you guys? But what's the long snapping life been like?
Yeah, it's been fun. I got to work on it a lot, but yeah, Colin's been great. Even when the snap isn't right there, he jumps up, catches it, and still gets a beautiful kickoff. And even when it's low or whatever, he still gets it out amazingly and fast. But yeah, it's been a little hard. I've been trying to work on it a little bit, but I think it's good for me to get me involved in something like that, and so something else for college that I could work on. And when I release a snap, I can run out and try to make a play for the team.
Yeah,
So
you get to turn that tenacity on again.
yeah,
Talk to me about Colin too, since you get to work a little bit closely with him now, doing the long snapping duties. He has been just a weapon for you guys across the board, whether it's kickoffs, punts. He's got a field goal under his belt now. What's it like to have just a Swiss Army knife of a special teams player like Colin?
yeah, definitely. Last year our special teams wasn't up to par as it is this year, and this year with Colin, it's been when you have good special teams, you have a good team. That's what I've been telling them. And if we could execute special teams correctly, and it just puts the offense and defense in good positions to make plays.
So you guys get that rematch with EHT this week. Talk to me about, just getting that second chance opportunity against them. Obviously, two coaches have a lot of history together. You guys played them earlier this year, and I told Tank this too. I think I speak for the entire team. You guys feel like you should have won that game.
Yeah, I definitely think we should have won that game. Just unfortunate some plays happen and should have won the game, but I'm definitely looking forward to playing them again, and I think we have a good chance. And as Coach Russo was saying, those kids running on the field definitely made us a little agitated, and looking forward to playing them again.
And, coming off a win like this, too, as big as it was, obviously it's your guys' first home win since November 5th of 2020. But as big of a home win as it was, the circumstances, kind of a walk-off win, if you will. How do you use this win to carry momentum into this rematch with the EHT, but also not let it overpower you guys and kind of, make you lose focus on the task at hand, which is now EHT?
Yeah, definitely. Getting a win definitely builds our momentum, but you always got to stay in the middle. You can't get too high or get too low. You got to stay right in the middle, and that's where we are right now. We're focused, and we're ready to bring it to EHT.
Dan, keep doing your thing. It's a pleasure and an honor to be able to call your games. It's always fun watching you go out there on the gridiron every single game day. So keep leading this team in the right direction, man. Looking forward to you going out there and balling against EHT.
Thank you.
All right.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah.
Being able to, for Dan to be on all three phases of the ball, I think it can't be overstated enough how much talent that takes and how much, just smart and, wisdom that takes to be able to compartmentalize three different positions that take so many different skill sets across the board.
Yeah, we needed some help, like I said, with long snapping. Fortunately, Gallo was out, and I was looking for a long snapper and tried a few kids out, and Dan was whipping it back. I said, guess what, you're a long snapper now. So he's been working on that every practice now, and he's been doing a heck of a job for us. And, it's a fun group to coach. Obviously, we had a tough month in October, but they stayed focused. They worked hard, and they got it done. We never played Eastern before. they've had a lot of success. I know Coach Spittle was there, who's now at Rutgers, and it's a really good program. And like I said, in 10 years I've been here, we've never played them. So they've had sectional championships. They've had a lot of success in the playoffs. So it wasn't an easy game. They had a lot of close games. I looked at their scores, looked at their film, and I knew they were going to give us everything they had. And credit to their staff to keeping them motivated as well.
100%. And, I just asked Dan this too, to get your perspective. In a win like this that, has so much emotion and so much, behind it, how do you kind of take it as a piece of momentum to push forward against an EHT that'll be a big-time emotional rematch, but also not let it, detract from the task at hand that is your next opponent?
It's excitement. It lights a fire in your program to get them extra motivated inside. They get a taste of winning. It's a young group, and trying to send these seniors out the right way. We take it a game at a time, but we knew what was at stake here, and they really wanted to be able to play EHT again. So I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, I have a history with the coach, Coach Stetzer, a real good guy. They made some plays last time. We played them, some big plays that we definitely got to eliminate and, do our thing. It's going to be a fun game, good atmosphere. It's going to be 5 o'clock is kickoff. It's going to be at EHT this Thursday. And it's going to be an old school Cape Atlantic rivalry game. And, we're trying to win number 4 and double our win total from last year and keep building, and that's what we're doing here.
How fun is it for you that you get a rematch against Coach Stetzer as well, to have that history that you have with him, and, obviously he gets the win in the regular season. Now you get a postseason tournament rematch. How fun is that for you, and what's the discussion going to be like, if any, with Coach Stetzer this week?
It's pretty scary when I can say I've known Coach Stetzer for over 30 years. We played against each other in high school. We're the same age, and I got a lot of respect for him. He's a good guy. He's a great football player, a great coach. And, it's going to be a heavyweight match here with him and Egg Harbor, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we talked last week, Coach, where you guys had to submit, your intent to play in this regional tournament. And there were some teams that said, hey, we're going to pack it in for the season. We're done. We'll see you in 2023. For you guys to get this opportunity and then to get this win under your belt with, the young core that you guys do have with a team that is a lot of sophomores, a lot of juniors, for them to experience that taste of winning and that level and that, playing field of winning. I mean, even after one game, I would have to say signing up for this tournament was worth it 110%.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. That's why we did it. I want our kids playing as many games as possible, getting that experience. You play in practice, so you get an opportunity to compete, and that's what it's about, competing. You cannot generate that in a practice setting. I mean, the kids go out there and work hard, but you get the officials, you get the chain crew, you get the fans, the game unis, the whole nine. Play on the best fields, when you play a game. So you can't duplicate that on practice field. So we want to play as many games as possible. That's what I've always been about here, going into year 10. And I'm happy that we were able to, that our administration here with Donnie Robbins, our athletic director, was able to, agree with what I wanted and signed off on it.
And, looking at that EHT game from a few weeks ago, what are some things early on here as we record this on Saturday, obviously for some different circumstances, which we'll get into in just a bit, but, trying to learn from some of the things that happened in that game, correct some mistakes. What are some things you guys are looking forward to this week in practice to getting after and making sure that you correct those mistakes from the previous matchup?
Yeah, well, hold this. Four plays in that game. 3 long passes, the 1 bubble that went for 80 yards or whatever it was. We eliminate those, we're going to beat them. And That's what our focus is, eliminating the long plays. Like I said, Tank is back. Please throw it to number 3. He'll be out there on the field. We've actually made some changes at free safety and strong. We've got some guys in there last month that played really well. But we have to eliminate the big plays and play our brand of football, which, we're getting better at. So we're going to work hard and work on, getting off the field, getting our defense off the field on third down, and getting ready for, with the specials, with the punt and all that stuff, and doing a better job on third down with us. But it's going to be, like I said, all the respect in the world for Coach Setzer and his football program there at EHT, but we're going to go out there and I can guarantee you one thing, our kids will be ready to compete.
And, have we gotten any live updates here from the play heard around the internet?
Yeah, so I'm still waiting for a few extra things, but I am prepared to discuss that with you. First of all, thankfully, we have you up in the booth, and we have Rich Scarpa. And, thanks to someone who's done a lot for the Vineland community, Mr. John Sobrana, starting this over 30 years ago, this VPS broadcasting network. And currently, Mr. Sobrana sits on our Board of Education and makes sure that it continues to happen and that we have the Vineland Public Schools broadcasting station. Gia Missouri, Doug Diola, our cameraman. Gia runs it now. She was working for Mr. Sobrana for years, and now she's running, our VPS broadcasting. They're doing a fantastic job because basically these high school games are filmed on Huddle. Everyone has Huddle, and it's clips. And I don't think that clip would have been in Huddle. I just don't see how it would have happened. But in addition to having Huddle, we have our own broadcasting station, which I just mentioned. And Doug was actually able to zoom in on it. And yourself and Rich were able to comment on it. I saw it live, and I've seen some comments. Some are saying the head coach should have done more. I did everything in my power to reverse that call. I complained about it. You obviously don't see me on film because they were zooming in on the chains. I questioned it live from across the field. I saw it, and the ref was actually standing in front of it. And number one, like our two guests expressed to you, I thought that it wasn't a great spot. I thought even with the poor spot, we still stopped them, and we were getting the offense ready to go onto the field. And when I saw them measuring, I noticed what I thought was the official moving the ball forward. And I said, what? To the guy on my sideline, they have earpieces, and they went over, and I said, you ask him what the hell that was, because it looked to me like he pushed the ball forward. So they responded by he turned the ball, which is normal. And I said, I've never seen that before. And, I complained about it and said, but they weren't going to reverse it. Unfortunately, in high school settings, you don't have instant replay like the colleges and the pros do. So I was basically helpless. I did express my opinion. I wasn't happy. None of the coaches were happy. My athletic director was right there, wasn't happy. I don't understand. We're waiting for an explanation. I do know this, and obviously I've received multiple calls. I know what's going on social media. We didn't post anything. We didn't comment anything on social media. We're doing our best here. We respect the process. We respect officials. We respect our governing board with the NJSIA. But I can comment on some things where I do know that the entire crew, from what I understand, has been placed on leave pending the investigation. No one's guilty or not guilty. They're investigating it. Obviously, it's national news. Millions of people have seen it. The video's the video. They're going to look into it more. They've requested more video that I've provided as far as our huddle and VPS and the video that's circulating around social media. But what I just want to say is if everybody can just respect the process of the investigation. We've got some really good leadership at the NJSIA level. I've been in touch with them. Our athletic director, Mr. Robbins, has spoken with them. We're doing everything on our end that we've been asked to do. I'm not sure what happened. It's like I said, it's under investigation, but from my vantage point live, I felt like the ball was moved forward. I didn't really see the chain pulled back like that, but on video I did see it. And, it's concerning because 2 plays later, they score. Makes it 19-14. We're thinking, we're putting the offense out there. We're going to run clock and run the ball and win 14-13 at that point. It would have been real unfortunate if we ended up losing the game on something like that, but it was very significant. It extended their drive. Like you saw live, you were there as well commentating, and I want to say 2 plays later, they scored. And it really would have been disheartening sitting here talking to you if we had lost that game. But fortunately, Xavier, I got the team together on special teams. We did change something up. I don't want to really discuss.
Can't give Coach Stetzer any intel.
We did make a correction on our special teams, and Xavier saw the alley, and he took advantage of it, and he did a great job. And we were able to get the ball, and then just 2 goals at the end, score and run clock. We didn't want to put them back on the field and give them an opportunity, to kick a field goal. We tried to go for 2. I felt like that was close play, but I guess we came up a little short. But fortunately for us, we won the game, and the rest is history. But this is a pending investigation. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty. So I know that our officiating chapter is looking into it. The state level's looking into it. Getting a little more seasoned as a coach. I had all kinds of people that night after we're celebrating our victory at Robbie Bono's place, Double Eagle, where we like to go after our wins and support, our local sports bar there with Robbie Bono, who does, and his family do a lot for our football program. But my phone all night was getting text messages, video clips of that, and I didn't reach out to anybody. I was waiting. Nowadays, I sleep on things and wake up the next morning and then process a little more and just take my time. And I was scheduled to go in and see, Mr. Robbins and discuss it and see, how we wanted to handle it. But before we could do anything, it was already spreading like wildfire on social media. So by the time, I was getting ready to, talk to my athletic director, there was hundreds of thousands of people that have already seen it. And then once it got on Barstool, right?
Yeah, it went on Barstool. It went on NFL memes.
Yeah.
I had text messages. Obviously, us having been podcasting now for almost 5 years, I have people all over the place that I'm able to talk to, especially during football season. I had people tagging me in the tweet saying, "Isn't this your game? Is this the game you call?" And I sent it to a couple of my buddies. I was like, "You'll never guess what game went viral." And they're like, "That was your game?" I was like, "Yeah, you can hear me in the background, like, of the recording from Kevin Minnick's phone recording saying, 'What?'"
I know. Same here. A lot of the coaches I've made contacts with the last 10 years here in college, they were like, couldn't believe it, texting me and saying, how did that happen? I said, it's under investigation.
Your guess is as good as ours.
But getting back to it live, I did question it. So some of the comments I've read, and there's too many, I can't even keep up with it. But I noticed one saying, I think I should have thrown a water cooler or clipboard or this or that out on the field. First of all, I don't operate like that, or I wouldn't really have a job. You got to act accordingly. And, I'm in charge of some student athletes here that if I act like that, they're going to do the same. I've seen programs where the head coach acts like that and the kids act like that, and we don't do that here. I'm disciplined. I get a little emotional at times too and do what I have to do to get my team in position to win games. But if I'm going to act like that, then if I throw a cooler, then guess what? My kids are going to be throwing coolers and doing this and that. So for some of these people that comment, if they're going to listen to our podcast here, I'm just going to tell you right now, we don't operate like that. You have to show discipline. I wasn't happy. I expressed my opinion. The officials disagreed with me, and there's nothing else I could do. Um, like I said, we don't have the benefit of instant replay in high school. I don't know if any state does, but we do not. We don't have the manpower in the state or school districts to do that. We're already shorthanded and short-staffed. I don't know how that would even work. Um, you know, some people have made comments like, "What do you expect with the officials? They get $107 a day." And I said, "Well, guess what? Pay them more, pay coaches more, because they don't make any money either, and you won't have these problems." Like paying a guy $107 to officiate a game that's going to be there for 4 hours after taxes. I mean, it's nothing. Same with coaching. You have to compensate people for their time. And if you want better officials and better coaches, then maybe you should compensate them better. And that'll be my message to people. Work long hours. It's like a second job. It really is. And to get higher quality coaches and officials, maybe you should compensate them more. That's my message to people if they want to listen to this.
100%. And, I also have to give a shout out to former Vineland High School football player Marcelino Ojeda. He shared the initial clip on Facebook, and then I think that's what led Kevin Minnick to recording it, and then that's what, like you said, made it spread like wildfire. So it started with an alumni.
Well, I'll tell you, that night for me, it started a half hour after the game. My son got wind of it. People were texting him. People were texting me, sending the video. We have a big following on our VPS broadcast. I mean, I look at it, not sure how it works, but at times I see 5, 6, 7,000 people who have watched our game, which is pretty incredible to me for a high school game. I'm not sure how they calculate that, if it's one view or if you watch it more than once, but I can't imagine how many people watch it more than once. But we've got a nice following, a nice support. There's a lot of violent people all over the country that watch it. I get messages all the time. Great game. Congratulations. People living all over the place. So, like I said earlier, thanks to Mr. John Sobrana, who I think is going for a third term here for our Vineland Board of Education. He's done a great job his entire career here with his professional career. Now he's volunteering as a board member for the school system. Credit to him to having that vision. He had years ago John's Video to Go. You probably don't even know what that is because you're.
I've heard of it, but I don't.
He started with that. Well, he started journalism before that. I think he was with the Daily Journal and some other outlets as well. But then he had his own business. Matter of fact, he might have been doing both at one time. But I grew up with his son John. They were on Kirkwood. I was on McLean Drive there in Franklin Heights. And I've known Mr. Sobrana my entire life. I went to school with John, his son, friends with his other son, Jimmy, who grew up with my brother, Matt. So we go way back. And thanks to that vision he had, probably close to 40 years ago, we have our own Vineland broadcasting station, which is excellent. We have our TV channel, I think, with Verizon and Comcast, and then we have it streamed live on YouTube. And it's getting better every year. I want to figure out, I've spoken with Gia too, Missouri, who's doing a fantastic job, about getting some type of replay too that I think will really enhance the show. But they do a wonderful job. Doug Diola's excellent. You think it's a big production. You have like 10 or 20 people working, but it's really like 4 or 5 people. It's Gina, it's Doug, it's you, it's Rich, basically.
Yep.
4 people, doing the commentary and setting up all that equipment. Not an easy job. Fortunately, we have Huddle and we have Coach Ecker, who's doing a fantastic job. Rowan Adams has been doing our end zone view. Coach Haig, who's a Vineland guy, Coach Breeze, have been helping out with the bird's eye. It's actually 3 people running our camera on Huddle. So our Huddle video is for us, which we've shared with the state and the officials. They've asked for it. So your view is much better than ours. I've looked at all the views. I even have Eastern's view, but our VPS had the best angle, So, hopefully nothing's really going to come out of it other than maybe some of the officials that made that decision are going to have to answer for on their end. But as far as, they wouldn't have changed the outcome of the game. Once the score's done, it's done. They wouldn't have, even with this video evidence, you're not going to take a game away from a team that won it on the scoreboard. They just don't do those types of things. But there'll be some consequences, in my opinion, only for maybe the people that made the decisions during the course of that game.
Yeah, and I do have to say, big shout out and credits to Doug Diola, because not only is it already a small group that's doing the broadcast, Gia was over doing the NJHS induction ceremony by
Wow.
herself. Doug was a one-man band on Thursday night, and for him to be able
Wow.
to
I
zoom
didn't know
in,
that.
get that camera angle and everything, yeah,
Wow.
Doug was lone wolf on Thursday because Gia was at the NJHS induction. So Doug, zooming in there and getting
Incredible.
that shot. Bravo, hats off to Doug.
What a great guy he is, too, Doug. He does a fantastic job. I didn't know he was by himself. Not only did he have the footage, but actually zoomed in almost like they do in the NFL. And they have probably 500 people working a game for them with all the angles and what they're
Mm-hmm.
doing. Who knows what they have? But one guy doing that, Doug Diola. Wow, great job, Doug. He's been with us a long time as well. So appreciate everything everyone does for us in the football program. And fortunately, it worked out.
Absolutely. Came away with a big win, Coach.
Yeah, but like I said, just trying to be respectful here, not act out of character. I saw some of the comments. There's only so much I can do in my position, but we did question it live. We're going to respect the process. The NJSIA is looking into it. They'll have a statement, I'm sure, if they don't already. But I was waiting to see if there's any additional information. But the only thing I can tell you is it's ongoing. But at this time, I know that the entire crew is possibly been put on leave. So they're not saying they're guilty. They're not saying they're innocent. They're on leave until this investigation's over. And the NJSIA has been great to us. Reached out to us almost immediately. Ms. McGuire is doing a fantastic job. Set up this bracket for us. That was her idea, along with her team. And we're all happy to be able to participate in it. And I'm proud that no one really on my staff or myself or our administration overreacted. We're just respecting the process. We're going to see what their findings lead to. And we have 100% faith in the NJSIA. And we're just focused right now on Egg Harbor. But like we've mentioned multiple times already, fortunately, we were able to overcome that adversity. Our kids put in a full 4 quarters. We actually had some additional adversity. In addition to that call, we had a couple turnovers that I wish went the other way. I felt like if the turnovers didn't happen and they don't get that first down, we probably win by a couple touchdowns, because it was getting to that point where we had the momentum, and I felt like, our offensive line, with playing one way mostly, was overpowering them, and I felt like we could have scored more. But the best team doesn't always win on the scoreboard, as you know. So we were just happy. I felt like we were the better team that night, and we were able to get it on the scoreboard as well.
100%. And now all focus turns to a rematch with Egg Harbor Township, Coach Stetzer, and the Eagles, as you guys get set for another regional postseason tournament matchup, which is very exciting, just for the trajectory of this iteration of Vineland High School football, to get another game like this, another big-time moment game to prepare for. I'm excited to see, just the response from this team, because I know it's going to be nothing but positive.
I agree with you. Our kids will be laser locked, focused here. It's a big game. Obviously, we have a little extra motivation this time around. They're kids. They don't know any better. Egg Harbor, they're just running on the field celebrating their win. Their team pulled it out. I wasn't. It's a little unusual. I've never seen that before, like right on the field running through us. When you're shaking hands, usually the fans will wait like in the corner for you and cheer. High school, I don't remember it really ever happening in my career with any opposing team or us really doing it, but it could have. But this one, they had a passionate fan base there that night. Were you there for that game, or was it one of your?
Yeah, I was there.
You saw it, so
Calling from the outdoors.
their administration apologized. Coach Stetzer apologized. And I said, "Listen, don't worry about their kids." And my message to the kids was after the game, they were upset too. I said, "Listen, you win the game, they don't do that. So let's just leave it at that. Win the game, you keep them off the field." And that'll be the message this week. I don't think we'll see the students doing that again. I'm sure that they've been it's been addressed by the school district there, but I'm looking forward to a rematch, and so are my boys.
It's going to be exciting, and like you mentioned, Thursday night, 5:00 kickoff at EHT. I'm just excited. Like, this is it's a big time step forward, I think, for this program, and you guys are sitting in the driver's seat, I think, with the momentum and just the focus of where this next opportunity lies.
Our kids, obviously wanted to beat Eastern, but they were definitely motivated not only to beat Eastern, but they wanted the rematch. And we didn't want to discuss it. We could talk about it a few times, but then once we were locked into practice and everything, I said the focus is Eastern now, and the kids did a good job. We were able to beat Eastern, and it'll get us into this game here. So, we're liking Thursday night football. It's a change up. It's a short week. We got a nice 3-day weekend now. I'm looking forward to watching Rutgers at 2:30 here, and watching Tyrene play. But our kids needed these 3 days to get healthy. It's that time of the year where we have some things. You're a little nicked up, but I think instead of bringing them in extra for a little extra work or practice, I think it was best to give them, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, which we did. They need their rest as well. Their bodies are recuperating. We had a Saturday game and then going into a Thursday game, so I wanted to give them that break. So I did.
Yeah, 100%. And now it all leads into a rematch with EHT on Thursday night at Egg Harbor Township, 5:00 p.m. kickoff. Come on out and support the Fighting Clan if you're in the area, or you can check it out, like we've mentioned, on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. It's streamed every single game day. Make sure you subscribe over there, and make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast feed, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. That's where you get the Dan Russo Show each and every week during Vineland High School football season. Follow Vineland Football on social media, the Red and Gray Gridiron Group Facebook page, at Vineland FB on Twitter, and make sure you follow Underground Sports Philadelphia as well, at Underground PHI, and subscribe to our YouTube channel where you get full video episodes of the Dan Russo Show each and every week. And hit that like button, comment down below your thoughts on the upcoming matchup, and ring the bell icon so you don't miss any episodes of the Dan Russo Show. Coach, any final thoughts now going into EHT?
A few things. First of all, I'd like to, thank you and Rich for the great job you're doing. You guys are phenomenal. It's very enjoyable being able to watch the broadcast after. You guys very knowledgeable and always positive with our kids, and we really appreciate it. I'd like to thank Jim Cavaliero also, our Twitter and Facebook guy. Actually, in addition to that, like I've mentioned, he's on the sideline with me doing our stats, which are on nj.com, inputting our scores. Jim does a lot for me, so thanks. Appreciate it, Jimmy, all you do. He helps me out too. He works for the city of Vineland, when we need fields for some of our other, teams here with JV and freshmen. And we appreciate that. He works with Bill Decken, who works for the city of Vineland as well, who, if it's available and they can help us out, they help us out. So really appreciate that. The cheerleaders the other night, this game was scheduled late and the band wasn't able to make it. They had some rehearsals, things like that. They had a big competition this weekend, so they weren't able to make it. So I'm wishing them good luck this weekend with their competition. But I just would like to thank the cheerleaders and Coach Broom for Thursday night short notice being there. They had their own sound system and speakers and performed and went out there, and I can hear them all game long. Even though I have a headset on, they're always cheering for the guys and getting the crowd into it. And I like to thank the fans that went out the other night. We actually had a nice crowd the other night for a short noticed game on a Thursday night in Vineland. So they got to see a doubleheader. They got to see Eastern at Vineland, and they got to go home and watch the Ravens and the Buccaneers, right?
Absolutely.
So I'd like to thank the fans the other night. We had a nice little crowd. Robbie Bono's been doing our concessions, but I told him I didn't think there'd be that many people there. So, Nick Basil was able to get his vendor in there. I feel like he has this. It's called the Sweet Tooth over on.
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
On Orchard.
Mm-hmm.
The gentleman was a great guy. Special thanks to the Blitz, Coach Basil, for feeding the kids after the game. Every one of our players, was treated to a hot dog or two, and some chips and a drink. So, Coach Nick Basil, who runs the Blitz, was able to put that together for us, and I'd like to say thank you to him as well. But we have, a lot of great people involved with our program. Also, the sponsors. You see our sponsorships on the sideline. I'd like to thank them as well. So, as we're winding down here in our last month, just like to thank everyone that supports us. It's not an easy gig. We've had a tough schedule. I feel like 5 of our losses were to teams ranked in like the top 10 or 15. And our kids are hanging in there. Like I said, we have some seniors playing, but we have a young group sticking together. And, the coaching staff has been positive. It's not easy. They have full-time jobs, and then they come here after work. And they're working hard to put these kids in the right position to compete and finish this season out on a strong note, which we intend on doing. Everybody's giving 100% with the staff and the players, and we're highly motivated for this week. We're going to put in our work this week and be ready for Thursday. We're going to be rocking our white jerseys with the red and gray helmets. We're going to go with some black pants and the red socks and change it up a little bit. Last time we went down there in all white. We're going to give it a different look. So it's fun to do. Changing up our combinations keeps the kids motivated, energized. They like, looking good, and we're proud that we're able to provide that for them through, the district here, and also with some private donations as far as some of the combinations with their uniforms. So, kids will be ready. Intend on working hard this week, and we're ready to go. I'm ready to go now, man. Saturday, I'm all juiced up. I like playing these old Cape schools, When the idea was floated to join the WJFL, we're excited, but I do miss the old Cape now. Sometimes you don't know what you have until it's gone, and I kind of miss the old Cape Atlantic League divisions with football. But it makes us better as a program, playing different teams, and, it is what it is. But looking forward to Thursday night playing EHT. It should be a really good game. 2 good programs with a lot of history, and like you mentioned, the coaches here, Coach Stetzer and I, have some history as well. So I have a lot of respect for him, a lot of respect for Egg Harbor. They have respect for us, and it's going to be a heavyweight battle here, man, with 2 heavyweights, 2 Group 5s going at it, old school rivals. So hopefully people can get to the game. It's early, 5 o'clock, or if not, they can tune in on VPS.
Absolutely, and looking forward to Thursday night. And, Coach, hopefully next week we're talking about not another referee story and another big Vineland High School football win.
Yeah, no doubt. I'd like to thank all the people that have supported us with this controversy here. A lot of positive comments, on social media and sending it to my phone, text messaging, and emails, things like that. So, like I mentioned before, the message to everybody is, just respect the process. Let's slow down a little bit. Let the leadership at the state level with the officials do their jobs, they will. And I'm sure they'll be having some type of announcement in the near future. But respect the process. Let's not, you know, overreact. And I'm sure they'll be issuing a statement this week sometime. So we're looking forward to seeing that resolved and moving forward to EHT. And just going to look out there, go out there and have some fun and play some football and keep getting back on track here. Proud of the kids, the way they held it, the way they handled adversity the other night. We were able to pull that out a 1-point win, which a win is a win, I tell them. No matter how you get it, you just, do your best to win the game, and they did. And, it's a good feeling.
Absolutely. So, congratulations, Coach, once again, and big thank you to Dan and Tank for hopping on the show this week as our MVPs of the week. And like we mentioned, Thursday night, 5:00 p.m., come on out to EHT if you're able to make it out. If not, it will be available to view on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel, and subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast feeds or YouTube channel so you don't miss out on the Dan Russo Show each and every week. But this has been another edition of the Dan Russo Show, presented by the Red and Gray Gridiron Group and Underground Sports Philadelphia. For Coach Russo, I'm Kyle Bennett. We will see you all here next week.